Hey guys, how's it going? They kind of changed the format on this a little bit. I wasn't sure if it was working or not. Hope you're having a great day. It's Friday and we're heading into a long weekend. So I don't know if any of you are lucky enough to have both the Friday and the Monday off. If you are, that's awesome. I don't get any day off, but that's by choice. So, anyways, if you're joining me, thank you so much. Glad to see you on here. So I was going to talk a little bit about being happy and what happy and successful people tend to do, what their habits tend to be. Because I know sometimes you'll know someone who's like really happy and you wonder, why are they so happy? And you might have friends that are really quite successful and kind of wonder, how did that happen for them? What was their path to get there? So I thought I'd just talk a little bit about some habits that these people have in common. I did some looking on the internet to see what they had in common. I thought I would share that with you. Hey, Lewis. Hi, hi, Alyssa. How's it going? Good to see you guys. So the first one that I found, the first habit was that they don't dwell on the past. So, everyone has their story, and some people's stories are very tragic, and some people have had some really rough things happen to them. But if you're hanging on to that and you're not letting it go, it's going to make it impossible to find your future. So as hard as it might be to do that, that's one step that you need to take if you want to truly be happy. You have to let go of that past. And I know that that's not an easy thing, and easy enough to say, but not easy enough to do. But it will go a long way towards your happiness. So definitely something to look into getting some help with if you find that you are really stuck on the past. Hey Keith, how's it going? So the next one, they focus on what they believe. So they really kind of, stick to what makes sense to them. So in other words, they're not out there trying to please others. And I have a habit of being a people pleaser for sure. But if you're always trying to please others, it doesn't let you work on pleasing yourself. So you kind of have to let that go. And as a people pleaser, I understand that can be a hard one to let go, but you got to start focusing on yourself and what you believe and what you want to do. They're open-minded. So this is big, to be open-minded. If you're really closed-minded and you just kind of feel like you're stuck where you are, you'll stay stuck. To get out of where you are, you need to be open to different opportunities and different ideas, and you need to be open enough to explore these different ideas and really give them some thought. Even if at first when you hear it, you're thinking, oh no, that doesn't make any sense, that would never work. Be open to it and just give it some more thought and let it kind of settle with you a little bit more. I've done that before where I've heard, someone has given me an idea or told me what they thought would be a good thing for me to do, and my first thought is, no way, that's stupid, that'll never work. And then after giving it some thought, I kind of realized the potential and thought, wait a minute, this actually could work and I can see how I could make it work. And then jumped in, and I've had some really great things happen just from being open-minded and trying out things. And quite often they were things that at first I thought, no way. So just, when you hear something and your first reaction is kind of negative, just take a breath, take a few minutes, kind of think about it more, think about it from different angles, talk to other people about it, see what their perspective is on it, and you just never know. Another thing they do, a habit that they have, is they finish what they started. So this is big, and I know, I've been guilty of this in the past, starting something all excited about it and not finishing it. But you have to finish what you started. And the thing is, with starting things and not finishing them, it will affect you quite deeply without even realizing it, and you'll actually start to believe that you can't accomplish anything because you never have, and it's just because you haven't taken the time to finish what you started. So, if you're going to start it, make a commitment and just get it done. Things are going to get tough along the way, but just do it. And then when you get it done, that's going to be a huge boost for you. It'll be a boost for your confidence, and you'll realize that you can accomplish things. And really, the main reason why people don't finish things is because they get scared or the workload is too much and they think that they can't handle it. So, just buckle down and do it. And if you have a bad day and it seems like it's not making sense, just, take a little time to be alone with yourself and some deep breathing and meditation and just, kind of like it's not the end of the world, and get back on that path. So the next one is they trust themselves, and this is a big one. So, they trust in how they feel about things. They don't let the uncertainty get in the way, because uncertainty is a key component of failure. So if you're of course going to have certain times where you do feel uncertain about certain things, but if you're always feeling uncertain about how you're thinking and what you're trying to do, then it's going to eventually lead to failure. You can't just always be, second guessing yourself. So, if you do have a couple of moments where you're feeling uncertain, just think about it a bit more deeply, talk to somebody about it, and just move on and just trust that, you'll know what to do. The next one is they're open to constructive criticism. So this is important. Constructive criticism is a great learning tool. I always tell my class participants after a class, I'll ask them, how was the class? And I always tell them, if there's something about these classes that you don't like, please share that with me, because that's how I learn. That's how I learn what you like. That's how I learn how to better myself and how to make my classes better. So you have to be open to that kind of constructive criticism, and constructive, not just like, somebody spouting off at you for no good reason. And when you receive it, think about it, learn from it, and then grow from it. Okay? They take risks, and this is a big one, and I've experienced success that comes from taking risks, and it was scary to take the risks, but I did it, and it's amazing when especially when the risk is really big, you'll be amazed at what you are capable of. I use my studio as my example. That was a huge risk, and I just knew that I would make it work, and pretty much left myself no choice but to make it work. And when you're in that kind of situation, you'll be amazed at how resourceful you can get when you need to be. Hey Laura, how's it going? Hey Jansen. Hi Steve. So don't be afraid to take those risks, and they're scary, but they're also exhilarating, and they just put you on this different level and this different path when you take risks. And like I said, you'll be amazed at how resourceful you can be and the things that you can do when you've left yourself no choice but to succeed. Successful and happy people also give back to others. So for most people, we have a need to help others. That's a human need. We need to actually be able to help somebody. And when you are able to help people, it will put you on this new level of happiness. It's amazing. You just feel so fulfilled. So if you can help somebody to do something that changes their life or whatever, it's just the happiness you get from that is just like tenfold at least. I've experienced that with my clients that come in, with health issues, and they decide that they want to get their health back in order, and I help them do that, and my job is the most rewarding job ever. And that goes for the people I see in person and the people who I coach online as well. So being able to be there and help people get to where they want to be and help them actually, make a change to their life that is so beneficial it just feels so amazing. So how can you not be happy when you're doing stuff like that, right? Happy and successful people also question conventions. So they know that just because things are done a certain way doesn't mean that it's the best way. And for myself, when I was graduating high school, I had in mind that I wanted to go to BCIT, I wanted to study biotechnology, I wanted a secure job, wanted to work in a lab. That's what I was going to do. Life was going to be awesome. So that's what I did. I went to school, I studied, I got the job that I wanted in the lab that I wanted to work at. And pretty quickly discovered that I was not happy. I was the furthest thing from happy. All I kept thinking was, what? Is this supposed to be what I wanted? So then that's when I started thinking a little outside of that conventional box and started thinking, maybe I don't have to work for somebody in a secure job to make my living. Maybe there's some other way I can make a living and actually be happy. And that's where I first started to get my training in for personal training, knowing that I wanted to have my own business, eventually have my own studio. And that's where it started. And that's where things got fun. That's where I got a lot happier, was when I was doing something that a lot of people told me, it doesn't sound like a very good idea, doesn't sound very secure, like how are you going to manage, how are you going to survive? A lot of people questioned me, a lot of people doubted me, and I just knew I was on the right path. And here I am, I got my studio, it's going great, it gets better every year, so, you just have to go for it. And I think you really have to go for it, especially when people are doubting you. Quite often when people are doubting you, it's more their own personal fears and their own personal insecurities. Don't let that drag you down. Just, go for it. You'll be amazed. You'll just do it. You'll do what you need to do. Another thing that they do is they learn from others. So that kind of goes back to being open-minded. And they typically have, a mentor or a few mentors. I know myself, I have a few mentors. And they study them. And what happens is when you're studying your mentor, you kind of get like guidelines on how to get to where you want to go to. So, being open to learning from people that are doing things that you want to be doing. And that was one of the best things that I did when I was wanting to open my studio, was to follow people who were doing, the same type of thing, who were, building their own business, who were in the fitness industry as well. And I learned from them, and I got excited by what they were doing. And a lot of times that was my fuel to keep plugging away to do what I wanted to do, because there were a lot of tough times. It was a lot of work to get to where I am now. It's still a lot of work, and I'll continue to work, but having mentors to look up to and learn from, just amazing. They also look after their health. So big surprise when talking about health and fitness. So the power of good nutrition and physical activity. When you're feeding yourself proper foods and you're moving your body the way it's supposed to move, it just keeps everything in balance. And when things are out of balance in your body and your mind, you can't achieve true happiness. I know this from personal experience as well. I was way out of balance and really deep in depression and suffered from a lot of anxiety and stuff like that. And that was because I wasn't taking care of myself. I was doing stupid diets. I was working out too much. And just it was just kind of a miserable time. I was just way out of balance. So you need to be in balance, and that comes from your nutrition and moving your body. So diet and exercise. And that was about all the ones that I found that really kind of spoke to me that I wanted to share with you. So, we all have the power within us to be where we want to be in life and be happy and be successful. It's not an easy road. I'm sure some people, they have an easy road or whatever, but for most people, it's not easy. But the destination is just so deep within you, that you want to get there. Like, you have an emotional attachment to that destination, or maybe you're at a point right now where you're just like kind of feeling like you're at your rock bottom with things. So, that's the fuel that will get you to where you want to be. And seriously, it's possible. I mean, if you had met me probably about 20 years ago, so when I was in my 20s, you wouldn't have even recognized me as the person I am today. I was seriously in a bad place. So depression, anxiety, I barely left my apartment because I couldn't handle facing people. I felt like crap about myself. I was so down, so negative. And I just got to a point where I was just so sick of that. And I was like, okay, I can't keep doing this. And that's when I started studying nutrition and looking at learning how to be a personal trainer, and also starting to read a lot of personal development books and stuff like that. And it just, the mind shift was amazing. And also, of course, getting my nutrition and exercise in order, that was another huge part of it. So, we can turn things around. If you're having a really tough time right now, know that you can turn things around. And if you need help with that, there are people that can help you. If you want to chat with me, I'm always available to chat. I just, I want you guys to know that you can do this. It can be very, very tough, but it's very, very worth it. So I have to get going back to my studio because I have another class because I'm running a full schedule this weekend, even though it's a long weekend, because my clients want me to and I love them. So I'm going to go and teach that, get my studio ready for that, and enjoy the rest of the weekend. So have a great weekend, guys. Talk to you real soon.